Director Datuk Sri Chong Ket Pen reigning supreme.
Protasco Bhd is a public listed company owned by businessman Tun Dam. Chong Ket Pen and Hasnur were hired to front as proxy and operate the company core business, the privatization of Malaysia National Road Maintenance Concession. According to Bursa Malaysia announcement on June 2012, Protasco owner appointed several new directors into the board. By the 25th of June 2012, Chong Ket Pen was removed from his position as the executive director of Protasco. Chong Ket Pen lost his power and held 15% shares of Protasco, a minority shareholder. Chong requested Protasco owner to give him 6 months' time to allow for management buyout to find new buyer for Protasco. Chong Ket Pen was desperate and through Singapore banker contacted business advisory firm Global Capital. On the 3rd of November 2012, Chong signed an agreement to engagement advisor to source for investors in exchange for terms set by investors such as business acquisitions.
And here is the paper which bears his name upon it as well as mine. Some of you perhaps have already heard what it contains, but I would just like to read it to you.
Although fundraising in short notice is difficult, Global Capital advisor Kock and Tapoyi successfully secured investors which provide loan financing to buy over Protasco shares from former owner in December 2012. Tay have since acted as the proxy to the investors to see through the deal. The motivation for Tay was in the name of nationalism and help a Chinese as convinced by the banker. On December 2012, former owner proxies have since resigned and Chong Ket Pen have since saved his job. Chong Ket Pen is the only executive director of Protasco when he regained his power. His duty is to fulfill his part to complete the asset acquisition. As part of governance, Kock was told by Chong to be appointed as non-executive director. And Tapoyi was persuaded not to take any directorship nor meeting the board of directors in the excuse of trusting Chong to carry on due diligence and complete the acquisition independently. The deal has since gone through and asset was transferred to Protasco. 18 months later, on September 2014, without prior notice, Chong through Protasco filed lawsuit against the asset vendor and 2 investors, Tay, claiming blames on the brokerage relationship. Both and Tay were on the vacation overseas. According to reliable reports, lies and false reports were filed to fabricate a blame on Tay as scapegoat in order to cover up Chong's mistakes. Market question: what is Chong's motive? In order to protect stakeholders' interest, a simple question and basic negotiation could have taken place if Chong found any issue in the deal. Chong chose to silently blackmail Tay. Both Tay have no clue nor power to involve in any of the due diligence process, and they were made to take the blame. Former vendor staff was used to manufacture lies. Even vendors' suppliers were used for muddying the waters. The fact remains Chong did the due diligence himself and he fails the deal. Media and flying letters was manufactured by Chong through the abuse of Protasco to character assassinate Tay. The businesses were blackmailed through the use of certain authorities. Public shareholders were sent poison pen to create impressions to go against Tay. By the end of year 2014, Chong Ket Pen successfully took full control of Protasco by ousted Protasco substantial shareholders Tay. Chong's hunger for power and ruthless betrayal does not stop there. In order for Chong Ket Pen to retain his power and grip on Protasco, which he took from the former owners, series of poison pen campaign was targeted to make Tay businesses fail and instigate betrayal within the businesses. On January 2016, a charge was manufactured to discredit Oriente. The allegations were based on same false report filed by Chong and his team. A similar charge was further fabricated by Chong, claiming Oriente breached Company Act, where evidence shown otherwise. The cases have since prolonged with sole purpose to covering up Oriente's mouth from telling the truth. Chong's massive media campaign in hope of telling enough lies one day may become truth have backfired. Higher authorities have found Chong's questionable trails of potential graft and money laundering involving his personal and business dealings, as well as influence and corruption of certain personnel in the authorities for his personal agenda. This is a story not just about the person who bites the hand who feeds, but rather the person who eats the hand who feeds and swallow the masters altogether. Oriente may not be saint, but they have saved Chong Ket Pen. Calling the saviours bad person does not bury away this truth. As of to date, the fact is Chong is in full control of Protasco. In the name of Almighty, may justice be served, humanity and mankind, dignity be restored in this part of the world. Academic study of collateral damage on minorities' oppression and organized commercial crime, Protasco case paper. Reference from Corruption in Developing Countries, Harvard University. Researcher C.K. John, Cambridge, Massachusetts, December 2016.